Hey, what's up, guys? It's MugenLord here, and today we're going to talk about Ubisoft. Yeah, that's right. Ubisoft had just pissed off the gaming community with a recent statement from their executive, and they believe that gamers need to get comfortable with not owning their games for subscriptions to take off. So, yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. So before we dive into this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, the notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. Now, we talked about Ubisoft about maybe 2 months ago because they were making headlines because many of their games recently had pretty much been making or putting in intrusive ads leading up to Black Friday, especially when you went to go play the Assassin's Creed titles. They had a bunch of ads trying to push you and encourage you to purchase their games, which made it very intrusive, and it pretty much messes up the entire gaming experience. So we covered that. So if you guys haven't checked it out, you can definitely check it out in the link in the descriptions below, and I'll definitely hear your thoughts on it. So right now, Ubisoft has done it again, has pissed off the gaming community for the simple fact is that their executives believe that we need to get used to not being able to own our games, especially now that we're moving into a more digital era where they're going to be pushing subscription service. And I already warned you guys about this whole digital era, and this is where they have their eyes set on right now, and they're pretty much saying the quiet part out loud. So we can go to IGN and go over the article and give you my thoughts and opinions after that. So apparently on IGN, it says Ubisoft exec says gamers need to get comfortable not owning their games for subscription service to take off. Let's get physical. So an executive at Assassin's Creed maker Ubisoft has said gamers would need to get comfortable not owning their games before video game subscriptions truly take off. So speaking to discuss the launch of Ubisoft's new Ubisoft Plus Premium and Ubisoft Plus Classic subscriptions, Philippe Tremblay, director of subscriptions at Ubisoft, explained to GI.biz what needs to happen before subscription services become a more significant slice of the video game business. So I quote, it says, "I don't have a crystal ball, but when you look at the different subscription service that are out there, we've had a rapid expansion over the last couple of years, but it's still relatively small compared to the other models," Tremblay said. And that's the thing. As far as the gaming community is going, as far as the gaming industry is going, we're getting more and more paid subscription service. And we always had the live service business model that they have been doing with games for almost, I guess we're going on a decade now with these live subscription service or these live service games, that these games are always constantly being updated, and these developers are trying to get as much as possible out of their games. And now we have this subscription service to allow gamers to be able to have access to all the games that's in their library for a subscription fee. And this is something that they're trying to push. And to be fair here, what the executive is essentially saying is, in order for this thing to actually take off, we need more and more gamers to get used to not pretty much owning their games. You got to get comfortable with saying, hey, I'm not going to own, in order for me to have access to all these games on the fly, I have to get used to not being able to own them. And that's what they're pretty much, this direct executive is pretty much saying here, which, like I said, this is where they're going. And I'm not even cool with this at all, but I digress. We're seeing an expansion on consoles as likes of PlayStation and Xbox bring new people in. On PC, from an Ubisoft standpoint, it's already been great. We are looking to reach out more on PC, so we see opportunity here. One of the things we saw is that gamers are used to a little bit like DVD, having and owning their games. That's the consumer shift that needs to happen. They are comfortable not owning their CD collection or DVD collection. That's a transformation that's been a bit slower to happen in games. As gamers grow comfortable in that aspect, you don't lose your progress. If you resume your game at another time, your progress file is still there. That's not been deleted. You don't lose what you've built in the game or your engagement with the game. So it's about feeling comfortable with not owning your games. So yes, so from what I'm understanding here, because like I said, a lot of the headlines is just quoting what he's saying, that gamers need to get used to not owning their games. But when you look at the context of it, it's saying that in order for us to go into this shift of digital, and compared to how DVDs were, how game or people who watch movies and have a physical collection, he was saying that in that market, people felt comfortable with not owning their music or owning movies, and they were able to easily see DVDs fade out as people keep pushing into not owning it, but able to have access to that collection of, you know, music or movies and stuff like that. And he's pretty much saying that here in the gaming space, it's moving slowly. You haven't gotten to where the DVDs are at. So in order for them to get there, gamers have to get to this point where they're comfortable of not owning their games in order to be able to gain access to these games in the subscription models that they're trying to push. So I don't agree with the all digital era anyway. I don't agree with any of that. But to look at the context of it, this is what they're saying in this article compared to what the titles are saying, that they just upright saying that you need to get comfortable. No, what they're saying is in order for them to go there, gamers will eventually have to get comfortable with that, just like the other markets where consumers got comfortable and don't want to have a physical collection or whatever like that. But let's go on. So I still have 2 boxes of DVDs. I definitely understand the gamer's perspective with that. But as people embrace that model, they will see these games will exist. The service will continue, and you'll be able to access them when you feel like it. That's reassuring, which is not reassuring because we already know how that works out when companies go defunct or if there's a licensing issue and then they have to pretty much remove that product so you don't have it no more. We just talked about this video where PlayStation, the PlayStation Store, all the owners had lost their movies, all their movie collections that was underneath the Warner Brothers Discovery situation. So everybody who had that lost everything. So that's one thing I would say that's bullshit. That's not reassuring. It won't always be there. It won't always exist, depending on the agreements that they have with developers or other studios and everything like that. So that's false. But let's continue. It says streaming is also a thing that works really well with subscription. So you pay when you need it as opposed to paying all the time. It's fair to say that temporary comment having gone down well with some gamers who prefer to buy their games on disc as opposed to downloading them or streaming them. But it's worth pointing out that Ubisoft, like many other game publishers, does still release its games on disc, and while digital sales have grown a portion of overall sales over years, a significant portion of players still prefer to own their games. And yes, I want to own my games. Everything that I have from my collection, I showed a video, my backlog and stuff, everything I want physical. I have to have it physical. I have to be able to own that piece of my product or the piece of that game that I've spent my hard-earned money for. I just can't see myself paying for these games, especially on console, and then I really don't own them. And then if something was to happen to those companies, then I'm ass out of luck from all that money that I have spent. Now, when you look at the PC platform is much different. It's like the executive said, they have shown much more success on the PC and want to go more on the PC end is because a lot of gamers don't have the games physical. They have a digital library. So PC platform is much different. Everybody's okay with not being able to have their games physically in their hands or in their possessions. They'd rather have it on their hard drive, be able to download it and be able to play it whenever they want, install it, uninstall it. So what's going on here is we live in a day and age where we have a new generation of gamers. And it's sad to say, we're going digital wherever we like it or not. And I hate it. I like it. To me, digital needs to still be a option. You know, we shouldn't just phase out physical media altogether. It should still always be that option to have it. But look at this new age where gamers today, and trust me, my brothers, they have a bunch of friends. They're younger. And most of them, they don't even have a disc-based console. They have the digital PS5, they have the Xbox Series S and everything like that. And their entire library is all digital. They don't care. When my brothers and them argue with them, they say they don't give a shit about the disc. They don't care. They just want to be able to buy it, install it on their console, and that's it. And this is the new generation. This is the new wave of gamers that's here. They rather not have all these games filling up and taking up space where they can just turn on their console and stuff like that. So this is where we're heading, and this is what these studios are trying to get a hold of. And we talked about this with Microsoft and Game Pass. Game Pass is what they're trying to, what Xbox is trying to do. Microsoft is trying to get ahead of that. This is what they see. All they've been trying to, they seen this years ago, a decade ago. They seen this, and this is why they pushing emphasis on the Game Pass, because Microsoft is betting on this all digital era, subscription service era, where every developer or every company is going to have a subscription service where you have to pay a subscription fee in order to gain access to their entire library. But this is where it gets crazy for me, is because not everybody can afford to get a bunch of different subscriptions unless they start doing bundle package subscriptions, which I still find that kind of stupid as well. But everybody, it creates this fragmented type of, like, I guess you say, gaming space, is because now everybody has their games scattered into these different subscriptions. In order to get these games, you have to go to this subscription and that subscription, unless they create one big ecosystem where you can get a package with all the subscriptions so you have access to all the games. But this is the future. This is what they see, and this is where this is the direction they're trying to go. But they're saying that the gaming industry is moving a bit slower. You know, the digital sales is still not making up all the sales for the physical, but they're saying that in order for this to actually pick up, gamers have to get used to not owning their games in order for this subscription service to push forward. So the article itself, the headlines itself, made it seem like that the executives saying that, oh yeah, you know, you guys better get used to not, owning your games, because, this is, for subscription service, this, that, and the third. But they're pretty much, with context, after you see everything, what they're saying is saying, yes, this is a model that in order for this model to work, you have to get used to not owning your games, and gamers have to get used to that. And also that it's been proven that people get used to not owning things, so they're able to do these type of services, especially when you look at Walmart and you look at Best Buy clearing out their DVD space, because everybody much rather stream. Everybody much rather be able to just open up their mobile devices and be able to just look at their movies and their cartoons and anime, everything on their mobile devices. So it shows that in some sense people are completely fine with that, which is sad. Like, I don't want that. I still have a DVD collection. I still do. And every once in a while I stream. I have a bit of both. I like to mix it up. But people love convenience. And eventually things are going to become more and more convenient, to the point where people's going to eventually don't mind owning their games. And that's the reality of it. I don't like it. You guys in my audience don't like it, but that's the future that we're going, and people is going to soon be comfortable with not owning their games. So definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comment sections below. Do you think that that we're far away from an all subscription service and not owning our games, or do you think we're knocking on the door, that especially from 2024 and beyond, that we want to start seeing everything going pretty much digital and going subscription based? So I definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comment sections below. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe button for more gaming content here on this channel. This is MugenLord signing off. I'll see you game fiends later. Peace out.